Ladies and gentlemen, it was finally time for Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa to go face to face. Last night's SmackDown brought in even more interesting things in this Bloodline story. So the show begins as Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Jacob Fatu were in the middle of the ring. So Solo says, Columbia, South Carolina, acknowledge me. He says, I am the man who created a bigger and stronger bloodline. And Roman Reigns can't do nothing about it. Jimmy can't do nothing about it either. Then Jimmy wants to go to Monday Night Raw and get Jey to help them out. Even Jey don't want anything to do with that. So the crowd starts chanting yeet, but then Solo says, no yeet. So Solo says, these beatdowns to Roman Reigns will continue unless he does one thing, and that's to acknowledge me. So Jey Uso's music hits. I wasn't even expecting Jey Uso to be at the show. So Jey Uso comes out from the crowd and starts yeeting with everyone. But things got serious when Jey Uso got into the ring. Jey Uso says to Solo, think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing to the family. Think about what you're doing to the bloodline. Dividing the family is not it. I left the family, I left to Raw, and I became the Intercontinental Champion. So the crowd chants, you deserve it. Then Jey Uso responds, yes, I did. Then Jey says to Solo, fighting for the Uofala is not it, Us. That Uofala is earned, not taken. You get that? But if you want to end Roman's power, do it. Just don't divide the family while you do it. So Solo starts asking Jey Uso, are you done wasting my time? He says, who's dividing the family? I'm not dividing the family. I'm uniting the family. And stop calling me your little brother. I'm your tribal chief now. I always had a special place for you and Roman in this bloodline. All you have to do is acknowledge me. Solo continues and says, I don't want you following your brother's footsteps because look where I got him. Talking about Jimmy. So then Solo asks, are you in or are you out? Then we got the crowd chanting OTC, OTC, because obviously they want Roman Reigns out there. So then Jey Uso has a turn of talking and says, well, what you're saying is true. You're trying to unite the bloodline, then why'd you get them? Obviously he was talking about Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Jacob Fatu. Why'd you have to get Tama, Tonga, and why'd you got to get Jacob? There's a reason why we stayed away from them. And if you keep staring at me like that, I'm gonna knock your ass out. Jey Uso looked like he wanted to fight Jacob Fatu. Jacob wanted to fight Jey, but Solo Sikoa wasn't going to let him. So then Jey says, forget about all that. Next time I see you, it's gonna be different. So then I thought, is next time going to be later in the show? But no, that's not what we got. But remember guys, this Monday on Raw, Jey Uso is going to defend the Intercontinental Championship in a rematch against Braun Breaker. After the confrontation we saw last night on SmackDown, does the Bloodline get involved during Jey's match with Braun Breaker? Everyone is assuming that they are. So then we get to the middle of the show. Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns arrive to the arena. And then we're talking about, oh, Travis Scott is great. So then as they were walking in, they saw Jey Uso. And Jimmy was like, what is happening? After Jey Uso had one look of Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso, he wanted to walk away, but Roman Reigns stopped him. Roman looks at Jey, and he also sees that he has the Intercontinental Championship. So Roman says, I'm proud of you. We all are. So Jey looked disappointed, and he says, no yeet. Then he walks away. Because obviously, remember, Roman Reigns was making Jey Uso's life a living hell. So then we go on to later on in the show. We got Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso having a conversation with each other. So at first, Roman Reigns is thinking about something, and then he looks at his right, and then he got scared because Jimmy was doing something stupid. And then Jimmy literally just says, oh, I thought I was just doing some wise man stuff. And Roman Reigns says, you're not the wise man. What are you doing? So Jimmy says, I still think that you need to talk to Jey. And then Roman says, well, I think if the wise man was here, all of this would have been done right now. So then Roman says, well, you had your shot. You tried to go to Raw, trying to get Jey. Didn't work out. So I'm going to do things my way tonight. So Jimmy asks, are you going to do that? And then Roman says, I'm going to acknowledge Solo. So now we get to the end of the show. So Roman is in the ring. He says, Columbia, South Carolina. And maybe for one last time, acknowledge me. The crowd was so loud, and Roman Reigns was soaking it all in until Solo Sikoa came out. So Roman tells Solo, you said to Jey, our family's stronger. You told Jey that our bloodline was stronger. Roman pauses for a second and says, I don't see it. I don't see anything that tells us that we're better off now. We're divided and broken. After everything we've been through, after everything we've been through throughout the spring, everything we lost through the summer, and we stand here divided like this? Roman continues and says, Solo, I told my father I was going to fix this. All I want us to do is to put us all back in the promised land. I want championships around our waist. I want payments coming from the heavens. I want abundance, and I want my family's priority. Tell me what I have to do. Tell me what I have to do to fix this. And then the camera focuses on Solo. He's laughing. Like he's laughing his ass off. He's trying to cover his face. And then Solo says, what you have to do? That's easy. What you have to do is acknowledge me. Then Roman Reigns ends up saying, I acknowledge you. There. Does that make you feel better? Then Solo's like, no. That's not good enough. Roman, I want you to acknowledge me as your tribal chief. I need you to acknowledge me as the tribal chief or else. And then Roman screams at him, or else what? Solo laughs at him and says, there he is, I knew it. You never changed. And since you'll never change, I'll never change either. Then he snaps his fingers and the bloodline comes out with already a beaten up Jey USO. And then that's where a fight breaks out. Roman Reigns tried to fight off the bloodline, but it was too much. Jacob, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Solo Sikoa are standing tall in the middle of the ring with a beaten down Roman Reigns in the middle of the ring. And that's how SmackDown went off the air. This is literally heading towards Survivor Series War Games. But remember, The Rock came back at Bad Blood. I haven't said anything about this, but if you guys didn't know, I'm sure you guys know by this by now, but there was a clip of someone being close to Solo, and he says, it's all part of the plan. But I'm sure we'll probably see The Rock in like January, like heading towards WrestleMania 41. But oh man, this story is getting even better. But I want to know, what do you guys think about this story so far? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, tap the notification bell for more videos. Follow me on Twitter at EthanSoyShow, and I'll see you in the next one.